చూడక ఎక్కడ నెంబర్ కనపడుతుంది. చెరువులో చెక్ వేసుకుంటాం. చెప్పేటప్పుడు వాళ్ళు వెళ్ళిపోతారు కదా, మళ్ళీ మనకు వస్తారు.
సార్ ఫోన్ చేసి మాట్లాడుతున్నాను సార్ మీకు.
హలో,
ఓకే మాట్లాడు.
సరే.
సార్ లైన్ లో ఉంటాడో లేదా అని చెప్పాలి కదా. Good afternoon to all the distinguished guests, tailgates and all. My name is Dr. The Department of Economics. It is a great joy and immense exultation. I feel privileged to extend my warm welcome to the august body of delegates and dignitaries present on digital platform for the two-day national seminar on an economic analysis of food safety control and standards on intellectual property rights with respect to production of agave albumarginata. Now, I would like to present a brief introduction of today's keynote speaker, Dr. T. Sudarshan Reddy, Associate Professor in the Department of in Yogamana University, Kadapa. His administrative experience are he worked as a member in IQAC and a coordinator in the Department of Economics as well. He has successfully completed one major UGC research project in the year March 2019. Under his able guidance, 5 PhDs have been awarded and four more are pursuing of now. He, he has successfully presented papers in various seminars and conferences. He has published books and acted as PhD thesis educator also. With this, now I request Dr. C. Sudarshan Reddy sir to take over the session. Please go ahead, sir. Hello. Sir,
Nagendra?
Sudarshan Reddy sir. Sir,
Nagendra.
sir, my voice is visible, audible, sir.
Yes, now it is audible.
Sir, take the session, sir.
Okay, okay. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Nagendra, am I audible? Yes?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Your voice is audible, sir. Sir,
Okay.
start the session.
Right. Okay. Distinguished correspondent, CSSR and SRRM Degree College, Sri Rajagopal Reddy Garu, College Principal Krishna Garu, today's National Seminar Convener, Dr. S. Nagendra, and co-speaker Lakshmi Kant Reddy, participants, faculty members of the college, students, good afternoon to everyone. I also appreciate the yesterday's speaker, Dr. Channakeshwar Reddy. So today's national seminar on an economic analysis of food safety, control, and standards on intellectual property right with respect to production of agave albumarginata. So already yesterday's speaker spoke about the technical process of this seminar, and that means what is the technical process of intellectual property rights and innovations, different kinds of innovations, and how to protect the intellectual property rights. All these things were discussed by the yesterday's speaker, Channakeshwar Reddy Garu. So, first of all, I congratulate and appreciate the college management, principal, and seminar convener for selecting a good topic. It is also very interesting and burning topic. So once again, I congratulate to the convener, management, and principal. Right. So today I am going to discuss about the intellectual property rights purely on economic aspects. So intellectual property rights basically refers to the legal rights given to the inventor or firm or to protect their invention for mainly in the form of geographical indications of goods and plant varieties was done on these aspects. For holder to practice a monopoly on the utilization of the thing for a predetermined period. So IPR provides a secure environment for investors, scientists, artists, designers, traders, etc. to foster innovation and scientific temper. So, what about the origin of intellectual property rights? According to the former Lord Justice and April Robin Jacob, the history of intellectual property law can be traced back to early as 600 BC. But many sources in the origins of IPR was the Paris Convention, first Paris Convention for the protection of industrial property and invention in 1883. Come to India, the origin of IPR system dates back to British colonial rule when, as a colony, the state enacted various rules and enforcement mechanisms pertaining to IP rights. However, the term IPR began to be used in the 19th century, particularly the Patent Act 1970 was brought into the force on 1972. So, next to go for the economic importance of IPR. No doubt, intellectual property rights have economic value like any other property. Intellectual property rights are an important determinant of economic growth in the whole world. It helps entrepreneurs to recover costs of their innovative expenses and encourage investments in research and information creation. IPR promotes innovation which leads to economic growth. Creation of innovation is the primary activity of each and every business in the world nowadays. The countries are now promoting their business through providing the importance to IPR laws. What about economic theory behind IPR? As per the economic theory, intellectual property right increase expected profits to the innovator and make him to invest more in research and development in order to raise the innovation rate. From an economic perspective, it is socially efficient to provide broad access to new discoveries. Economic theory exhibits that intellectual property rights could play either a positive or negative role in cultivating development and improvement. The restricted proof accessible proposes that the relationship is certain, however, reliant on different variables that help advance advantages from licensed innovation assurance. In a free market where no IPRs exist, new products and technologies could be nearly multiplied at marginal cost, which would benefit society. So basically, in a free economy, without IPR laws, it it should not encourage the investors because there is no profit on this aspect. Hello,
Sir.
am I audible?
Yes, sir. Sir. Go ahead, sir.
Okay, okay. So, at the beginning of the 1990s, the World Bank published a collection of essays surveying the economic literature on intellectual property protection. Since then, the intellectual property field has seen tremendous changes with profound implications for developing countries. Rapid advances on the technology frontier have significantly expanded the range of products and technologies that are today covered by proprietary rights. On the policy side, the signing of the trade-related agreement on intellectual property rights, one of the outcomes of the Uruguay round of trade negotiations, particularly during the period between 1986 to 1994, marked the beginning of a new era in which owners of intellectual property will be increasingly able to pursue the protection of their rights on a global scale. The evolution of intellectual property protection in the 1990s was viewed in the preparation of the World Bank's 1998-99. As per the World Bank report titled Knowledge for Development, illustrate that the new era of global protection presents the developing world with both opportunity and challenge. Opportunity exists in the creation and dissemination of knowledge addressing the particular needs of developing countries. So, what about the economic significance of intellectual property rights? The economic significance of intellectual property rights differs across the countries and mainly depends on the amount of resources devoted to creating intellectual assets as well as and the amount of protected knowledge and information used in production and consumption. So one useful indicator for the magnitude of resources devoted to the creation of new knowledge and information is a country's expenditure on research and development, R&D. So the data shows that the developed countries spent $372 billion for the development of R&D.
It is about 7% of the total GDP. So,
It is
Mahendra, వినిపిస్తుందా?
వినిపిస్తుంది సార్.
మొబైల్ కనెక్ట్ చేసేసారు.
United States spend more on R&D, so it is about $167 billion or 2.8% of its GDP. However, but developing countries spend much less money on R&D. It is around $57 billion. So when come to the developing countries, they spend very less amount for R&D. The major R&D spenders among developing countries include China, Brazil, India, and the Asian new industrial countries. So, come to the Indian perspective, in the Union Budget 2023-24 allocates only 320 crores for IPR domain. It is very small and insignificant. So, when the comparison between developed nations and India, Indian government support and encouragement is almost insignificant in respect of IPR. So the amount spent on these aspects is very small. It is meager amount. So uh, what about the Indian rank in the IPR, global IPR? India ranks 42nd among 55 leading global economies in IPR as per recently released the International IP Index. And India retained the 40th position in Global Innovation Index. However, there has been a significant improvement in the patent applications increased from 45.4 thousand in 2016-17 to 66.4 thousand by 22-23. Similarly, the patents granted in India rose from 9,817 to 30,074 during the same period. However, India has behind its global peers. The number of patents filed in India was 56,777, nearly 4% of China. So China's number is 14 lakh point 97 lakhs, 14.97 lakhs, and the 9.5 lakhs of United States. So what about the other aspects, economic aspects of intellectual property rights? An intellectual property protection regime shall have two economic goals. The first goal is to encourage investments in research and development as well as commercial innovation by granting exclusive rights to use and sell newly created technology, commodities, and services. The second purpose is to encourage rights rights holders to put their innovations and ideas on the market in order to foster the widespread circulation of new technology for the development of economy. So, uh, the emergence of IPRs between developing and developed countries, the development of IPR protection measures in both emerging and developed nations has resulted from the emergence of new technologies. Various components of the intellectual property system have proved that intellectual property protection and the creative and inventive industries that IP supports many benefits both rich and developing countries in terms of GDP, employment, and other economic advantages. IPR systems in developing nations tend to emphasize information dissemination through low-cost imitations of modern items and technology. For instance, copyright-related sectors can make economic contributions in developing nations that are comparable to those made in developed countries. Domestic enterprises in developing nations use the trademark and patent systems on a regular and considerable basis, both at home and abroad. Furthermore, international investment and technology transfers in developing nations are directly dependent on effective intellectual property registration and protection. In developing countries, domestic enterprises rely heavily on trademark protection to defend their trademark both at home and overseas. Trademarks are becoming more popular in emerging nations. Much domestic enterprises make up a significant portion of trademark users and even when compared to industrialized countries. Emerging countries have a high rate of trademark usage related to GDP. The additional possible benefit of improved intellectual property protection is that it may encourage more R&D to satisfy the specific demands of
धन्यवाद मामा
Hello.
धन्यवाद सर एक मिनट धन्यवाद
What? So there is a great importance of. Am I audible, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Go ahead, sir.
Okay. So there is a great economic importance of the intellectual property rights, particularly the new integrated World Trade Organization system has made an agreement on trade-related aspects of intellectual property rights. So WTO introduced this TRIPS uh, and which is part of the worldwide system of the protection of intellectual property rights. All WTO member countries are required to adopt high levels of intellectual property rights protection and to enforce these high levels of protection under agreement. The TRIPS agreement as one of the WTO's main multilateral trade accords plays a new vital function worldwide economic development. The agreement was meant to bring an end to the period of global intellectual property management under the auspices of the World Intellectual Property Organization, which promotes economic cooperation and development. The CS, like any other industrialized countries, is a strong supporter of intellectual property rights under TRIPS, citing the agreement capacity to promote long-term economic growth and development. Countries benefit from increased trade, foreign direct investment, and technology generation and dissemination, while developing countries benefit from increased trade, foreign direct investments, and technology creation and diffusion. So, as a result of these trips, countries require developed country members to provide incentives to enterprises and institutions to their territories in order to promote and encourage technology transfer to least developed country members. There is still a lot of ambiguity about how the TRIPS agreement and IP protection will affect global economic development. Many economists have paid more attention in recent years to the link between intellectual property rights and the international economic development as well as IPRs and commerce. So the developing countries first objected to the TRIPS agreement being negotiated because they anticipated an economically unfavorable consequences. In the end, the developing countries approved the TRIPS agreement and high levels of IPR protection were advocated as being in the best interest of developing nations. Developing nations industries will be extremely inventive if they embrace high levels of intellectual property rights. Scientists and other inventors will leave if high levels of IPRs are not adopted, since they will not be fairly compensated for their work. As a result, developing nations award high levels of IPR protection in the hopes of promoting economic development. So finally, IPR's protection is becoming increasingly relevant to policymakers in developing economies in recent years. This trend reflects not only international commitments made in the context of multilateral negotiations, that is the TRIPS agreement, but also the growing reliance on private sector R&D in areas of particular interest to developing countries. In the case of agriculture, for example, IPR's policies may affect the lives of millions of low-income farmers in the developing world by influencing the pace and the focus of advances in biotechnology. So the challenges these developments pose for developing countries are significant. Protection of IPRs influences how knowledge is created and diffused within and between economies. Besides the legal standards of protection, the foregoing discussion identified many other variables and determined the economic impact net benefit of a particular IPR's regime. countries' endowments with factors and technologies, other business regulations, the efficiency of the judicial system, macroeconomic stability, and so on. Mainly, developing countries can enhance the benefits of BRICS-motivated reforms by building national consensus on the desirability of IPR's protection and establishing efficient and credible institutions for administering the enforcing IPRs. So, these are the major issues regarding the intellectual property rights and economic development and economic aspects of intellectual property rights both at global and uh, India. So actually the theme of the seminar is an economic analysis of food safety standards on intellectual property rights with respect to production of agave algo marginata. So now I want to discuss two things about this agave algo marginate. So first of all, I congratulate and appreciate the scientist Dr. Channakeswar Reddy who got the patent on this particular production of agave algo marginata in India. So what actually I don't have much technical knowledge on this, but this agave algo marginata is an evergreen short stemmed plant native of Mexico. It is mainly used to an ornamental plant in gardens and landscapes due to its attractive flowers. It also used as a medicinal plant in traditional medicine for treating various ailments in particular countries. But today, the global agave market was valued at $172 million in 2020 and is expected to grow at a compound annual growth rate of 5.7% during the forecast period, during the future years. So, there is a huge demand for this agave algo marginata products. But in the other name, particularly in the 21st century, water efficiency and diversification of income streams are emerging as a key drivers in Indian agriculture. So, for reasons associated with climate change and a projected increased demand for imported oil, India has focused on ethanol petrol blends. So recently, our transport minister also encouraged the ethanol petrol blended mode. In recent years, there is a huge demand for this plant and products. So in other countries, there are several names. Agave, tequila, Mexico tequila, etc. But in India, this is also known as Nara Kalabanda or Itta Nara. So Channakeswar found that the plant had this high starch deposit in its label zone, which could be extracted and distilled to prepare pure alcohol in an economic manner. So today there is a huge demand for this ethanol petrol and alcohol consumption. So in future, I think that there is a substantive scope for these products. So particularly, and the interesting thing, this plant was mainly available in Rayalaseema region. So first, in future years, there is a huge demand for these products. In this aspect, I congratulate Dr. Channakeshwar Reddy, the yesterday's keynote speaker, and also got patent in this regard. So, thank you very much.
ఏం సార్ మీ వాళ్ళు ఏమి సమాపం చేశారా సమానం చేసి
Hello.
సమానం చేశారా
Sir, thank you, sir, for your valuable information to you. Thank you, sir. Today, another speaker, Dr. Lakshmikant Reddy Chitla, has been awarded PhD thesis in the Department of Economics, SP University, Tirupati. In the year 2017, September, he has teaching and research experience in India and abroad as well. Overall, tourist experience, teaching experience. He worked in abroad, namely Eritrea and Malawi, in the year 2011-13 and 2016-17. Dr. Reddy has got an opportunity to present a research paper in international in the year August 2019, Frankfurt. Germany has an Indian patent award in April 2020-22. He has successfully presented various papers in seminars and conferences. He has attended workshops, FDPs, and other research programs as well. Presently, Dr. Reddy working as a research consultant. With this, now I request Dr. Lakshmikant Reddy sir to take over the session. Please go ahead, sir.
Good evening to all. Am I audible to everyone? Firstly, I appreciate and thanks my dear friend and director of this seminar and the CSSR institution, Professor Rajagopal Reddy sir, and other all. And I just really am very much happy to see my Professor Sudarshan Reddy sir is also one of the keynote speaker, and my friend Dr. Channakeshwar Reddy. I'm very happy on this day and this occasion. I really appreciate and thanks to my dear friend Dr. S. Nayendra. And coming to this IPR related economic development. And first and foremost, I and the team of Channakeshwar Reddy, 8 members team, we have received Indian patent, and we have applied the patent in 2015. And 2022, we have got awarded the Indian patent on now this seminar topic. This is the patent looks like. You can just see the patent looks like this. So I have just bought this. And this patent we have applied in the year 2015. And after all the examinations, all the inventors, explanation, then we have got awarded in the year 2022. This is the main theme of this 2 days national seminar. And I have taken IPR and its role on economic development. Okay. Meaning of intellectual property rights. The term intellectual property rights is used to refer to the bundle of rights conferred by a law or creator owner of intellectual property. Okay. The creators and inventors are thus allowed to benefit from their creations. This is called intellectual property rights. Okay. Then, when we come to the intellectual property introduction and its definition and the history. Fundamental developments of human rights insights, for example, if you are having the scholarly, creative, specialized logical development, then at the time intellectual property gives a legitimate right to your intellectuals. Okay. Then history of intellectual property rights. In United Kingdom's 14th century, it has been started, and the United States 7th century. In Japan, it is started in 18th century. All the majority of the created countries have cleared, licensed innovation law and a decent authorization framework to ensure the rights. Indeed, even these nations have separate courts to deal with the IP related issues for speeding up change. The principal patent was recorded in 1984. China and India both marked global IP bargains in a similar period at the same time. Licensed innovation can be characterized as creations of the brain, developments, scholarly and imaginative work, images, names and pictures utilized in business. Okay. What is the need for protection of intellectual property rights? Yes, what is the need? There are few purposes behind advancing and ensuring protected innovation. Progress and benefits of mankind stay in the capacity to make and new design works in the field of innovation and culture. Intellectual property insurance supports production, dispersion, creation of the general population as opposed to say quite about it. What are the economic benefits of intellectual property rights? Intellectual property rights influence the procedures of monetary improvement and its development in mind-blowing and dependent on different factors. In principle, more grounded framework for the issuance of licensed innovation could either improve or constrain monetary development. Developed and developing countries perspective. What's going on in the globally with respect to developed and with respect to the developing countries? Countries are divided into two main categories. Developed North, they claim they are as innovative, and the developing South, they claim they are imitative. Innovative, imitative, on the ground of protection level of IPR, United Nations International Development Organization. Northern countries support a strong IP regime that will work on a worldwide scale in an effective manner, while the southern states show avoidance from implementing this concept on the grounds of serious concern. World Intellectual Property Day. Am I audible to all? Hello? Hello? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Hello? Hello? Am I audible to all? Dr. Naindra, am I audible?
Audible, sir. Go ahead, sir.
Okay, thank you. World Intellectual Property Day. WIPO adopt the commemoration of its 30th anniversary of founding 26th April as the World Intellectual Property Day. As an annual event, the commissioner noted that the aim of doing was further promote the awareness of the intellectual property. Transfer of technology, knowledge, consumer choices, and development of other spheres in those countries, therefore defining the correct balances becomes unavoidable. With Stockholm Protocol 1965,
ये अभी बाहर को लगी।
Okay. WIPO was formally created by the convention establishing the World Intellectual Property Organization, which entered into force on April 26, 1970. On April 26, we are celebrating the Intellectual Property Day. What are the functions of the WIPO or intellectual properties? To assist the development of campaigns that improve IP protocol all over the globe and keep the nation's legislations in harmony. Signing agreements related to intellectual property rights protection. To implement administrative functions discussed by the Berne and Paris unions. Factors for promoting IPR environment. The last step of research was to identify factors for promoting an IPR environment. As highlighted in the study by Jain and Kiran, the factors promoting IPR could be either organizational factors or policy factors. These are the factors affecting. In India, we have TIFAC, Patent Facilitating Centers, which provide assistance at state or central level to promote IPR culture. We have a patent facilitating center. We have Punjab State Council of Science and Technology in Chandigarh to assist in patent search and literature review. IPR and international scenario. Keeping in mind the higher standards of creativity mandatorily required by patent law, and software developer can choose or elect any form of protection that is most desirable to him. In the international scenario, IPR has been treated like this. And another graph I have, Global Intellectual Property Center, GIPC, US Chamber of Commerce, has stated that for the past 25 years, US has emerging trends, and after that UK, then Australia, Canada, intellectual property rights have been registered. For the past 10 years, India has been registered 8.25% only. Intellectual property regime. It has been seen that developing countries, including India, provide a very weak intellectual property protection. India acknowledged in principle the case for strict IPR protection, but in India, those could be done only in phases suited by its ground reality. India has lagged behind in formulating relevant laws, making it difficult to protect the country's biodiversity. We have a wealth of traditional knowledge and products lying in the public domain that needs to be adequately protected. As globalization deepens further, it also increasingly encompasses the sharing, utilization, and enjoyment of IP products like inventions, designs, books, etc. India is fast developing into a technology producing country, particularly in biotechnology, information technology, and pharmaceutical sector. Therefore, development of stringent and staunch IPR system is an urgent need of this hour. Okay. Slow progress. International Intellectual Property Index report has been saying that India is progressing slowly. In 2020, we have got a 40 rank, then afterwards 2021 40, in the 2022 year 43, 23, 42%. Then if we see the scores, 38.64% is the score. And the address and the territorial jurisdiction of the patent offices in India is, we are having address in the patent office Chennai. These are territorial jurisdiction of the states, Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka, Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Union Territories of Pondicherry and Lakshadweep. Patent Office Delhi deals directly with the states Haryana, Himachal, Jammu, Kashmir, Punjab, Rajasthan, Uttar Pradesh, Uttaranchal, National Capital of Delhi and Union Territory of Chandigarh. Patent Office Mumbai is directly deals the states of Gujarat, Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh, Goa, Chhattisgarh, the Union Territories of Daman and Diu, and Dadra, Nagar and Haveli. Kolkata, most of the rest of the northeast states, rest of India, Kolkata office will be dealing this intellectual property rights address. And we are having a table of which is directly deals with all these offices. Office of the Control General of Patents, Design and Trademarks. Rajiv Gandhi International Institute of Intellectual Property and Management and Patents Information System, Nagpur. Patent Office, Kolkata, Delhi, Chennai, Mumbai. Design Office, Kolkata. Trademarks Registry, Mumbai Office, Head Office, Delhi, Kolkata, Chennai, Ahmedabad. Geographical Indications Registry, Chennai. Copyright Registry, Delhi. Registry, Delhi. The government fees for filling a patent application in Indian rupees is 750 rupees for individual. If anybody individual you just want to register is a patent, then the fees for the individual is 750, and for the institutions for the legitimate entry is 3,000. No fees for the first year and second year. There has been no fees. They are collect no fees for the first year and second year. Then renewal fees on yearly basis is required to be paid for 3rd to 20th year for keeping the patent in force. In order to keep the patent in force from 3rd year to 20th year, you have to pay the renewal fees. Okay. Patent lapses if renewal fees is not paid within the prescribed period. Okay. Then finally terms of the patent is for 20 years. For example, I have filed my patent in the year 2015. Irrespective of awarding, from 2015 to 20 years, it is to be valid. Only for 20 years, the patent should be valid. Okay? Please look over. Periodicity, date first to file. The date of patent is the date of filing the application for patent. The term of the patent is counted from this date only. Okay? IPR protected by the copyrights, patented objects. How the IPR is protected is follow. By copyrights, by patented objects, trademarks, by industrial designs. How the design, for example, if any industry is having, it is having its own copyright and trademark. It has likewise the IPR is to be protected. Trade secrets with respect to cartels, by layout designs, copyright designs, by geographical indications. Okay. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. Dr. S. Nagendra, so over to you.
कुर्ता पजामा बना लो जो मर्जी बना दो ये दोनों चीजें में आएगा ना ये देखो ये ग्वालियर
Thank you so much, sir. That a wonderful session from you. I hope all the participants find it very useful. No, I request to all the participants to express their doubts and queries. The session is open for questions.
आपने पहले पेंटिंग पेज बोली जब कुर्ते पजामे का जिक्र किया फिर मैंने
The session is open for questions, sir. Anybody ask questions?
ये सेट लाए हुए हैं 4 कलर है मुझे ये आपको 1250 का पढ़ना था ये वैसे इसको लेस करके निकालना 4 पेज और पूरा सेट है क्वालिटी भी हैवी है सारी ठीक है मैल पूरे रंग में
You can ask questions, sir, no problem. If anybody is having any doubts with regards to the patent, you can ask me. Anybody?
क्योंकि बनाना पड़ेगा कुर्ता पजामा फिर मेरे हिसाब से वो ठीक है रीजनेबल भी है और क्वालिटी में भी ठीक है जो आइटम दे रहा हूँ ना, ये ठीक है। बाकी तो आपकी जो इच्छा है, अगर बहुत बढ़िया दे रहे हैं तो
Hello,
बहुत बढ़िया है, तो बढ़िया में जो ये भी ठीक है, इससे मैं चेंज कर देता हूँ कवर आप
you can raise your questions, sir.
बढ़िया आइटम है ग्वालियर में, पूरा कोई कंप्लेंट नहीं आनी, तो कुछ नहीं आना।
Okay, thank you.
कलर अक्टूबर कलर है,
So,
सब करने के लिए पूरा होगा ना।
vote of thanks. A very good evening to the resource person and all the faculty members, research scholars, students, and all the other participants of the two-day national seminar on IPR. At the outset, I consider it more than privilege and honor for me to deliver vote of thanks on this auspicious occasion. From the bottom of my heart, I am thankful to our beloved chairman, Sri C.V. Rajagopal Reddy Garu, the chief patron of the program. Thank you so much, sir, for your encouragement and support. Now, I would like to extend my thanks to the resource person, Dr. S. Channakeswar Reddy, assistant professor at Indian Institute of Plantation Management, Bangalore, and Dr. T. Sudarshan Reddy, associate professor in the Department of Economics in the Yogi Vemana University, Kadapa, and my dear friend, Dr. Lakshmikant Reddy Chitla. Thank you so much for sparing your valuable time and knowledge, sir. We are grateful to you for your patent and effective teaching. We are looking forward to collaborate with you again and again in future. Now, let me extend my heartfelt thanks to all the participants for their interest toward the today seminar on IPR. I hope this has a fruitful for all of you. We promise to hold many more useful programs like this in future too. Thank you one and all for your cooperation. Thank you so much, sir.
सारे स्काई ब्लू
So I sent feedback form in the seminar group, sir. So all the participants are fill it. We can get the certificate. Thank you, sir. I have ended the meeting. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir.
थैंक यू सर।
थोड़ी सी क्वालिटी सर बढ़िया है ना, ये ऐसा तो नहीं कोई मिडल की क्वालिटी हो, टॉप में
कोई रुआ नहीं भैया, 350 की शर्ट देते हैं हम।
तभी बोल रहा
दो
हूँ।
शर्ट्स का ले लो, कितना बन गया? 750 रुपए बनते हैं कलर।
గడుచుకుంటే మనకు ఇప్పుడు 75,000 కదా కట్టిందో, అప్పుడు 50,000 చేస్తాం. 50,000 అంటే 25,000 మిగులుతుంది. చీటీలు కూడా ఒక అతనిది అయిపోయింది. తర్వాత ఎంత నువ్వు మేలు అనుకో, అందరికి ఎవరు ఇచ్చారు?
ఊర్లో ఇద్దరికి ఇచ్చిన ఎరగదలు కట్టి తెలుసుకోనంటే హాస్పిటల్ కంటే 10,000 చేయబోదు. అక్కడ నీ తిన్నా వాడు ఎరగదలు పెరిగా ఇచ్చాడు.
నీకేం ట్రాన్స్ఫర్ చేస్తా
చూడి ఈ
50,000 కూడా ఎక్కువ రోజులు పెట్టుకోనిలే, ఇంకొక 3 నెలల్లో ఇచ్చేస్తా.
చేసిన ఫోన్ కొట్టా, వేరే బక్ చేసిన రెడ్డిని పట్టుకునేదే వడ్డీని 6 నెలల నుంచి అంతే కదా సార్, వడ్డీ కూడా కొట్టలే.
ప్రిన్సిపల్ కూడా అదే అల్లాడుతున్నాడు, ఏం మంచి
చేసిన కంప్లైంట్
అవుదా
చేసుకుంటాను
లెక్క దొరికితే ఇచ్చేసాడు, లెక్క దొరకలేదు మండి.
ఇవన్నీ రెడీ పట్టుకునేదే నెలకు వారంలో అంటాడు.
నాకు వాడు ఆ రోజు లోన్ శాంక్షన్ చేసింటే నాకు బయట అప్పులు ఏమి లేకుండవు. ఏమంటే నేను వద్దలే అనుకున్నా, వద్దలే ఎందుకు అవును. ఎందుకులే ఊరికే యో అంతిమ నిష్ఠూరం కంటే ఆది నిష్ఠూరం మేలని పెద్దలు ఊరికే ఏదన్నా కానీ
పోలేదు
సార్ చేసి అర్థం